Once again, the title of the book is Irresistible Force, The Life and Times of Gorilla Monsoon by our guest, Brian R. Solomon. I wanted to ask you about this tweet you had about Charles Robinson, by the way. Boy, I'm trying to get people in trouble on tweets. But you had said that he's the only referee out there that's worth anything. And what brought that on? What did you mean by that?
Well, it's very hard sometimes for me to lose myself watching a modern wrestling match. And again, I've said it so many times, I don't blame the referees per se, because they're being trained a certain way. They're being told how to do their job. Charles Robinson is the only one left on the mainstream wrestling scene who comes from the old school, the old way of doing things, the old way of when they trained referees, to really kind of step in and be the voice of authority and be a big part of the psychology of the match. And I think so often today, these referees, they just kind of blend into the background and they essentially just kind of let everything happen as if they were just a fan watching the match. And it's a trick to be a good wrestling referee, because you don't want to make it about yourself. You have to be careful not to draw inordinate attention to yourself so that people are looking at you instead of the wrestlers, but you have to make it look like you're doing something. You have to always be active. Referees need to move around, get in the wrestlers' faces, challenge them. You are the one in charge. And very often I see these referees that they stand far away from the action. It's like they don't want to get in the wrestler's way, which I'm sure is intentional. There's almost no interaction between the wrestlers and the ref. It's like the referee is just doing some kind of weird pantomime in the background where they're just kind of waving their hands and making a pained face, and the wrestlers are doing nothing to acknowledge that they're even there. So much of the psychology of the match is lost. Obviously professional wrestling is a performance. There's no actual rule book or anything like that, but the pretense and the illusion of rules is part of the illusion of pro wrestling. And when the refs are just standing there letting everything go, it really hurts that illusion. And the referees don't act so much like they're the person in charge in the ring anymore. I often compare it to, they act like the exasperated parent of a bunch of spoiled children. That's the way they act, like they're just begging, pleading, wringing their hands, looking all concerned. And I'm watching it going, you are the official. Yeah. You have the power to step in and do something, that should be part of any great match, because otherwise it just makes